Hey guys, it's Kelly here from Spiritual Awakening Signs with a video today with 5 secret truths that no one ever tells you about spiritual awakening. We're going to be getting right into that content right now, and I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you because people don't tend to talk about this stuff when they talk about awakening. It's a little bit of a secret, but we're covering all that today. And we've got a few things to get through and a free resource for you as well. But if you don't know me, I'm Kelly from Spiritual Awakening Signs, and I help people like you who are going through a spiritual awakening to reduce the challenging signs and symptoms that you've got and make the whole process much easier. And we do that through a lot of guidance videos, and we've got some energy healing meditations that will help to support you throughout your awakening in every aspect, whatever you want to activate, whatever psychic senses you want to activate, and whatever healing you want to do. We've got that there available for you, and it will help to support you through that process. Now, I want to get into the content of this video because it's quite special what we're covering here. It's not something that's covered very often. So first of all, the thing that I want to let you know is that spiritual awakening is not what you think. It's really not what you think, and it is definitely not what you expect. I know when my spiritual awakening began, I really genuinely expected everything to get better. I really expected that everything was going to rise up into that higher spiritual level, like I'd learned about reading online and watching videos. And I really expected it to be a kind of immediate transformation, that I would be seeing differences already, that it would be filled with wonder and joy. Now, it was filled with wonder and joy, and it continues to be to this day. But what nobody told me was about all the darker stuff that you really need to work through to get to those higher aspects of awakening that nobody ever tells you. So we're going to go through these in just a little minute. But if you're watching us live, please say hello, tell me who you are and where you're from. Love to hear from all you guys. But let's get into some of these different signs and symptoms of spiritual awakening that everybody keeps a secret. No one wants to admit that we've got them. So the first one, the one that I see the most often in spiritual awakening, is anxiety. Anxiety and even overwhelm. We quite often go into awakening, and because of all these heightened energies that are moving through our system, very often it is perceived by the body as anxiety. It's a really confusing state to be in, so it can mean that you move into awakening and you think that everything's going to get better, and all of a sudden you're feeling unsettled, worried, anxious, maybe even fearful all the time, and it's a really uncomfortable symptom. But there are things you can do about all of these symptoms, and we'll cover that at the end with our free resource to help you. The second thing that no one ever talks about is that you'll have imbalanced psychic and intuitive senses. So yes, they will be activated, and yes, they will be working in a higher functioning level than ever before. That definitely happens in awakening. But because we haven't quite learned to work with them yet, and because the levels of energy haven't settled in those senses, it's really sky high, and then it all calms down, and then it wobbles in between. Because of that, we tend to have imbalanced psychic senses. So that can create a confusion where it's like, oh no, but I was so sure about this, or my gut, it felt so real or so right in my gut. Sometimes you're getting things right, and sometimes you're getting things wrong, and it doesn't play out the way that you felt that you intuited. It's just your psychic senses leveling throughout the awakening process, and they will level, and they will also be 10 times better than they've ever been before. My intuition is far superior to what it was when I began this entire process, even though I was already an intuitive healer at that time. So it will really open up in a big way for you. The next one that I want to cover is confusion. Confusion and uncertainty. You absolutely will go through awakening feeling like you don't know what the hell is going on, you don't know how to move forward, you don't know what's the next step to take, and you're probably going to find that decision making is really, really difficult because everything is so uncertain. And it's because your life is shifting from one sphere into the other. You're moving up in energy. So what applied before doesn't apply in this new world that you're kind of resonating with. It's not the same anymore. So that can be quite confusing when you're trying to make decisions. But please know the confusion will calm down, and there are things that you can do to improve that in our free resource that we'll be sharing at the end to really help you find that inner voice again and start to work out what's right for you. The next one I want to cover, and please let me know if you resonate with this one, guys, is emotional turmoil and triggering, massive triggering. I don't know why no one ever talks about this, but it's probably the biggest aspect of awakening. It's working with all your stuff. Everything comes up for healing. Everything that's been from your childhood, throughout your life, throughout your past lives, on the soul level, everything starts to rise up to the surface. And all of a sudden we're really emotional. We're very sensitive. We feel things very deeply. It can be quite painful to feel so deeply. And also quite often we've got things coming up that we don't really understand. It's like, oh, I'm really upset or I'm really angry and I don't really know why. There doesn't seem to be sometimes any cause externally, and it's because it's all the stuff from within that's bubbling up to the surface to clear, to move, so that you can move into much more positive aspects and you can really fully embody your higher self. The next one is 2 more to go, feeling spacey and disconnected. Now what I can say is that you are absolutely going to go into awakening and you will immediately become ungrounded. Everyone who goes through awakening immediately becomes completely ungrounded. It's very difficult when those high vibrational energies are coming into your space to really anchor yourself to the earth, and that can leave you in a state where you feel like you might be zoning out quite often, you might be a little bit spacey, you might be a bit more clumsy than you usually were, knocking things over, banging into things, making mistakes. And it's because you've kind of, it's almost like you're disconnecting and unplugging from one reality and into the other. So it can feel a little bit like a dream in moments, and it's important to reground your energies in the right way, which again we'll cover in a moment. And the last one is that unfortunately you're going to struggle to deal with normal daily life. I would love to tell you that it's really easy, but it's not. It's challenging, and trying to live a normal life like everyone else when all this craziness is going on and everything's kind of clearing from the inside out can be really, really challenging. And sometimes if it's really difficult, life can feel like an unmanageable burden. It can just feel so difficult. And I really want to say to you, if you're going through that, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you at all. It's absolutely natural. And almost everyone I speak to who goes through spiritual awakening, including myself at one point, feels the same. There are times where it just feels like normal life. You just don't know how to make life normal again because everything's changed and there's so much going on within you. But it will change. And I noticed before we had a little comment, Sabina said, is this ever going to end? Please say yes. Yes, absolutely it will end. I want everyone to know that. This moment that you're going through where awakening is really difficult is not supposed to be the entire journey. This is just the foundations that are clearing you, helping you to connect to source, helping you to clear your stuff so that you're free of illusions, you're seeing with truth and clarity, and you're fully connected, using your psychic gifts and abilities and following your life purpose. That's what it's all meant to be about. This moment of clearing and healing and kind of awakening is really only supposed to be a tiny little part of it so that you can live the rest of it in joy and in higher alignment. It doesn't mean that life's going to be perfect. We're still on the earth and there are challenges that come with that are just part of the plane that we're on. But it does mean that you can resonate and fully embody your higher self and really make that something that is just a natural state of being, to live in that higher energy all the time. That's really where you want to get to. So please know that if you're struggling with awakening, this difficult part will not last. It's just a moment. And I know at times it can be challenging to get through, but we've got lots of resources to help you with that, free and paid if you want to do a little bit more deeper work. Plenty of resources for you, so you don't need to be stuck. You don't need to wonder what to do next. We've got lots of guides on what to do and how to handle it, and it'll make it a lot more easy for you. So if anyone has any questions, please let me know before we finish up today. Well, now what I want to let you know is that we have a free resource with all of the vital information that you need to support your awakening experience and to help you handle awakening much more easily. It doesn't need to be this hard. And if you're having some of the symptoms that we mentioned before, you need to know that they can be changed, and many of those can be alleviated within a few days to 2 weeks with our special grounding system. It's nothing like any grounding you've ever done before. You won't need crystals, you won't need essential oils, you won't need any external item to be able to practice this method. And we've had people giving us fantastic reviews. It worked for me. One lady actually said she was feeling 80% better after 3 days. So these techniques they really do work. They really make a difference, specifically if you're going through awakening. So you can access the free 5-day course, which will lead you through each step of it and give you all the information you need to know to really handle awakening, to understand what's going on within you and to make it a lot easier. You'll get it at the link below, and I know that it will support you because it definitely changed everything for me. It changed things in a big way. So check that out and get the help that you need. I'm just going to check if there's any other questions. I don't think there are. And hello to everyone who said hello and told me where you are. Appreciate that, guys. Thanks for joining us. I think that's everything. So remember to click the link below if you want to be notified whenever we go live. We've got tons of free videos still to come, and we're here on a regular basis. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, you can click to subscribe so that you get updated with everything that we've got. We've got lots more help coming for you. You're not on your own with spiritual awakening, and there's a lot of us on this same journey. We're all needing to unite together at this time. I can see, just as a last moment here, Frances has commented, and she says she's from Miami, so hi there. And she says, yes, I have many of those symptoms, and yes, I'm struggling right now. Well, we're all sending our compassion out to you and to everyone else on this video, because it is tough. And that's what the truth about awakening, that's why I wanted to make this video. It's tough, but you can get through it and you can make it easier. So please don't think that it's not going to get any easier or that there's anything wrong with you. That is a totally normal awakening experience, but it doesn't need to be that way. So check out the free 5-day resource and get that support to help you move through and help you understand what's going on, and everything will be okay. So take care, guys. See you soon. Bye.